I always tell everybody, I don't go in there looking for the knockout. I go looking for the win. But if he get out of line, he's going to be the next one down.
For Terence Crawford, he has definitely gone under the radar. 4-weight world champion, 41-0, 31 knockouts. A southpaw who's got IQ and speed and craft. I think it's a fabulously interesting matchup.
It's going to be a great fight. The reason I have so much confidence is because I really believe that Bud Crawford doesn't fear Canelo Alvarez. A lot of his opponents.
During a contentious news conference, Terence Crawford lashes out at Canelo. He states unequivocally that his goal is to win only within the ring, but he cautions that things could go personal if Canelo acts disrespectfully or out of line. Crawford's ferocious remarks reveal his ferocity and resolve, demonstrating that he is psychologically and physically prepared for the battle and dispelling any question regarding his self-assurance.
You a there and stuff. You a see. You a hold talking to. Let Aaron. You a because you keep talking. You doing all that talking. That's how you doing all that talking. You can't be always talking. I come back. He don't talk, and you talking too much. This you want some attention. So right here. This is gonna be legendary. Right here. Female ass. So y'all showing me this is a legendary old school fight. Get out some attention. Put the camera on him because that's what he's doing. Showing out like a female. Let him finish, bud. Go ahead, EJ. Yeah, all right.
Because of Terence Crawford's fearlessness both inside and outside the ring, Greg Hackett has been outspoken in his view that Crawford can defeat Canelo Alvarez. Hackett asserts that Crawford stands out in a division where many opponents are reluctant to challenge a dominant figure like Canelo because he approaches fights without hesitation or intimidation. Crawford's self-belief, according to Hackett, is the result of years of perseverance, triumphs, and flexibility rather than conceit. He asserts that a fighter's greatest weapon is confidence, which Crawford carries into every battle. Taking on Canelo, regarded as one of the best athletes, pound for pound, needs mental toughness, and Hackett is certain that Crawford has plenty of it. Hackett sees this bout as another chance for Crawford to demonstrate that he performs well under duress rather than as an uphill battle.
Canelo, they taking Crawford. You got people that was taking Crawford, they taking Canelo.
Yeah.
What do you make of it?
It should be that way because we talking about a great fight here. We're talking about two great athletes. So when it's like this, it's better for the betting. You know what I mean, all the people that like to bet, it's better for them. You know what I mean, because nobody knows where the money gonna land. The reason I had so much confidence in this fight, you know, thinking that it's gonna be a great fight. The reason I had so much confidence is I really believe that Bud Crawford doesn't fear Canelo Alvarez. A lot of his opponents in the past were nervous, scared from the beginning. I don't think Bud feel that way at all. I think we can get a good rumble on our hands. You know what I mean? It's just gonna come down to the big question for Bud is can he take the shot? You know what I'm saying? The question I think for Canelo is does he get old? I say that for a reason. He got a lot of fights, bro. I think he going on almost 70 fights. You know what I'm saying? Or he a little bit under 70. That's a lot of fights for current time. You know what I'm saying? And Bud got a lot of gas still left, but he's older as well. You know what I mean? A lot of people like to give him shit for not being able to take a shot, or not that he didn't take the shot, but getting buzzed with some shots at lower weight classes. So it's like, how can he handle himself at 168 pounds? But you have to understand the physical to understand how. You know what I mean? I'm not about to get into all of that, but you know what I mean? I do understand he will be a lot more sturdy at 68. I mean, if you smart, you've seen it at 47 versus Earl Spence.
A well-known boxing commentator, Adam Smith, calls the possible fight between Terence Crawford and Canelo Alvarez a monumental step up for Crawford, but one that is winnable. Smith notes that Crawford possesses one of the best boxing IQs in the game, enabling him to precisely take advantage of his opponent's flaws and rapidly adjust to his rhythm. Another crucial quality is his quickness, since Canelo's defensive approach occasionally creates gaps that a quick-witted fighter like Crawford may take advantage of. Smith thinks that Crawford's capacity to outsmart and outmaneuver Canelo over the course of 12 rounds would be the decisive factor in the bout, which would ultimately be decided on points. He calls the bout possibly one of the most exciting fights in recent memory, with both men testing each other's mental and physical limits. Smith believes that Crawford winning on points is not implausible and instead illustrates how boxing rewards brains, skill, and planning.
September the 13th. It's billed as Fight of the Century. I do feel as though this one, for such an unbelievably good fight, the prospect of, it has gone under the radar a bit. We've spoken more about fights that are not even.
No, but Eubank Ben, I mean, how much you spoke about?
No, I love that fight. Though.
Yeah, but compared to these two guys,
Yeah, but that's in Britain. That's prime time here. It's the football casuals. I think the problem with this fight is it is just a fabulous boxing matchup, and one with all sorts of curiosity between two superstars. The Ring magazine's dedicated the entire magazine, but this is boxing. It's hardcore boxing. I think Canelo is known. I think Canelo, obviously the Mexican machismo that holds all the super middleweight titles, nearly 70-odd fights. He's been phenomenal. I think he's 35 now. But for Terence Crawford, he has definitely gone under the radar. 4-weight world champion, 41-0, 31 knockouts. A southpaw who's got IQ and speed and craft. I think it's a fabulously interesting matchup, the two of them, because you've got the big guy, the strong, super middleweight, really cultured, wonderful fighter in Canelo. But is he just slightly, ever so slightly, fine margins past his peak? And you've got Crawford, who needs this fight as his coming out party. The big news, it's on Netflix, so he'll get the attention. Can Crawford do it? It's a huge step again in weights, but I think he's got the speed, and I think he's got the know-how, I'm sure we'll talk about it more next week, to cause problems for Canelo, and I think that he could win on points.
Ade Oladipo provides a more critical analysis of the bout, contending that although it has received a great deal of attention, it lacks the distinct excitement of other recent high-profile bouts, such Alexander Usyk versus Daniel Dubois. Oladipo claims that the natural weight differential and expectations that significantly favor Canelo mean that there is not the same mix of suspense and competition between Crawford and Canelo. As opposed to Usyk versus Dubois, which featured a clash of opposing styles and true unpredictability, Crawford versus Canelo felt less balanced. He believes that the promotion, rather than the fight's real dynamics, is what creates the excitement.
Like, you know, it's been billed as the biggest fight of the century. Some are saying the biggest fight of all time. Let's calm down, people. Let's breathe a little bit. It's a big fight. But it doesn't quite feel like those things. It doesn't feel like the biggest fight of the century. Like, this doesn't feel like, and maybe because I work these events, so it's slightly different, but this doesn't feel like Usyk Fury, for example. It doesn't feel like that at all. That felt like, oh my God, this is going to happen. Undisputed heavyweight title fight. Remember, this is an undisputed super middleweight title fight. It just feels a bit lacking of something. Like, I can't believe that Max Kellerman is now part of this. And again, for nostalgia, we haven't got a Max Kellerman face-off. How Canelo speaks great English now. How we haven't got that? Just to kind of give it a bit of spice, because Canelo, with his English, it's like he's only learnt the bad words. He does chat a lot of shit. So I almost felt like we should have done that. Maybe because it's on Netflix, it hasn't got a bit of a push from ESPN. Obviously, there's no DAZN stuff, obviously, because DAZN are not covering it. I feel like it's lacking something. And maybe because both of them don't trash talk either. Because when I think of the biggest fights of the last sort of 15, 20 years, we've always had one side of the fight, or one side is a big trash talker. In some instances, two. The biggest fights, again, Usyk Fury. Fury was happy to do all the trash talking. Sold it. The event went massive. Mayweather, Pacquiao. Mayweather is happy to do all that, right? Mayweather, McGregor. Hence why that went just colossal. Because you got two of the biggest trash talkers ever doing it. This time, Canelo ain't saying anything. Crawford ain't saying anything. Feels a bit flat. Feels a little bit flat.
By portraying Crawford versus Canelo as the greatest fight of the century, promoters have done all in their power to turn the bout into a cultural spectacle. They have generated enthusiasm among boxing fans outside of the sport's usual fan base by reaching out to the worldwide public. By providing unparalleled coverage, behind-the-scenes video, and access that makes the event seem bigger than life, Netflix's presence has increased the excitement even more. Through well-crafted press conferences, interviews, and documentaries, the fight has reached households that might not typically be boxing fans. This marketing strategy breaks the boundaries between entertainment and sports, creating excitement comparable to the greatest crossover events in history.
I'm holding you to the standard you set. They're tagging this the fight of the century. Colossal, super fight, Netflix, Dana White, right? So now we gotta look at it. You can't tell me something. See, I'm not the type of person where you can pee on my leg and tell me it's raining. If that's you, and you're gonna let somebody urinate on your leg and tell you it's raining, that's on you. But I don't do that. I'm a critical thinker, and I'm not just gonna listen to what you tell me and see if the facts don't support that, right? So if this is the fight of the century, let's look at it. Boxing tickets, Canelo versus Crawford, right? Since August 29th, tickets listed, $2,566 value, $7 million plus worth of tickets. Hey, bro, $7 million worth of tickets.
According to seasoned observer Al Bernstein, this was not the bout that the boxing industry was genuinely anticipating, even with a massive promotional effort. He claimed that spectators were more interested in watching Crawford fight opponents in his natural category or Canelo fight opponents who were closer to his weight, so the desire for Crawford versus Canelo was not natural. Although there is some appeal to the bout, according to Bernstein, it lacks the kind of organic rivalry or plot that makes a fight an event that is not to be missed. He adds that although the promotion has been successful in creating buzz, core boxing fans' genuine interest in the bout is still low when compared to past big fights. A prevalent complaint that the fight is more of a marketing ploy than a reaction to actual fan desire is highlighted in Bernstein's preview.
To have these two level of fighters meet, where does this rank at?
I think it's one of those fights that, the interesting thing is, it wasn't as if every boxing fan said, boy, I can't wait to see Canelo fight Terence Crawford. In other words, it wasn't one of those fights, like there are more boxing fans that said, gee, I'd like to see Canelo fight David Benavidez. But, having said that, I mean, among the hardcore boxing fans.
For sure.
Having said that, what they did, and this happens sometimes in boxing, they come up with a matchup that wasn't on everybody's mind, but kind of makes sense. And the proof is in the pudding. If you do one of those kind of matches and the interest is not there, you're going to find that out.
For sure.
In this case, obviously the interest was there because they've sold. I mean, I went online and looked at the ticket sales and everything, and they've sold. Looks like they've already sold 30,000, 40,000 seats.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
I believe
there's
they'll
not
sell
that
it
many
out.
left in Allegiant Stadium. So that alone is an indicator. The amount of attention and coverage the fight has gotten, and this is one of those fights that will also have a good barometer as we get closer to the fight. How much is the mainstream sports media covering the fight?
Yeah.
You know, it used to be in the old days, big fights were covered all the time by the mainstream sports media, not so much in recent years. And so that's always a barometer of whether it, really is as big as we think. As far as the actual matchup is concerned, when it was originally announced, I thought they were going to have a hard sell in convincing people that Crawford could come up 2 weight classes and take on a 168-pounder because he already moved up.
Another widely held belief regarding this fight is that, despite the fact that it will draw a sizable crowd, the battle was not one that the fans specifically requested. Many believe that Canelo has a significant advantage because to his stature and weight, which could make the conclusion of the bout predictable. Therefore, the suspense rests on Crawford's ability to overcome such obstacles and achieve a historic victory. Crawford's victory would change the perception of boxing underdogs and be remembered as an exciting and startling event. But if Canelo prevails as most people anticipate, the bout might be written off as uninteresting or unavoidable. This perspective illustrates the conflict between expectation and optimism, with fans hoping for a surprise yet wary of being disappointed by an outcome that seemed predestined. It will be interesting to see if Crawford can overcome the odds and demonstrate that skill can triumph over size.
So many tickets available for this fight because of that undercard. This promotion has been just, it's very interesting, man. Number one, there's no real reason for this fight to take place. Terence Crawford and Canelo. Nobody was asking for the fight. There's no natural connection between the two fighters. There's just two names that people think are on the top of hypothetical list called the pound for pound list that many people act as if it's real. So they're two top pound for pound people, and they put them together and think this makes some big magic match. It may be a magic match once they get in the ring if Terence Crawford can overcome Canelo Alvarez. It's got a real potential for that. But what happens if the fight winds up just being what more than likely it'll be, which is Terence Crawford trying to get away from the bigger, stronger Canelo Alvarez? Because again, he's jumping so many weight classes. That's the gimmick. That jumping the weight class is the gimmick that is supposed to be attracting people to this fight. Gimmicks are not gonna pull it. And you can't tell me of the people. Now, there's going to be many people in the stadium. People go to the fight for sure. There are going to be people out there for that event. But you can't tell me that that particular event with the fights that they have on that card is going to be some memorable night of boxing, other than maybe it taking place in the main event. You have people, many of these fighters are not from the United States. As I look from them, I would have to go out and see in the United States, how many fighters from the United States do they actually have, right?
Terence Crawford's physical metamorphosis at 175 pounds, which is far heavier than his natural division, has astounded onlookers. His well-defined muscles, thicker neck, and wider shoulders give him the appearance of a fighter ready to take on a physically strong opponent like Canelo, according to reports and images. Many people are now more confident that Crawford is not entering the battle undersized because of this change. Rather, his physique has been modified to meet the demands of a higher weight class. His fitness shows that he has invested in strength and conditioning regimens that optimize power without sacrificing agility, indicating that he has taken this issue seriously. Seeing Crawford bulked out but remaining athletic appeals to viewers him hope that he can counter Canelo's physical advantages and contribute the same technical mastery that has characterized his professional life. New discussions concerning whether size will actually be the decisive factor have been sparked by the appearance of a stronger, scarier-looking Crawford.
Bud Crawford is absolutely ripped, absolutely shredded. What looks to be about 175. Now he fights next Saturday, a week out from the fight. It's a week out from the weigh-in, so I'm sure that you look at Terence Bud Crawford right there, and you see he is absolutely shredded right there. And this is a week before the weigh-in, right? So I'm pretty sure he's probably weighing about 174, something of that magnitude, maybe about 173. 175 is probably the max he is at right now, because obviously the weight is at 168 and he's a week out. So he might be around 173, drop 5 pounds on next Friday for the weigh-in, right? So Terence Crawford, as I showed you guys, is training and putting a mass in his shoulders and in his legs. As you can see here, once again, right? He hasn't gained a lot of muscle mass except in his shoulders, okay? When you look at Terence Crawford in previous fights, previous weigh-ins, his arms look pretty much the same. His neck and his shoulders is where you can see a clear difference from fights in the past, right? When you look at his midsection, his core, right? You can see the waterway, right? So right now, it's going to look like his midsection, his core is going to look bigger than what it actually is.
It is impossible to ignore Canelo Alvarez's lineage. He has decades of experience fighting some of the biggest names in boxing, having gone professional at the age of 15. Canelo has a granite chin, one of the finest jabs in the sport, and the ability to change tactics in the middle of a battle, unlike many competitors who could lack technical foundations. His accomplishments in a variety of weight classes and his steady handling of pressure-filled circumstances have established him as an outstanding boxer. The biggest challenge for Crawford is dealing with someone who has such a lengthy resume. Canelo is a difficult opponent for any boxer, regardless of style, thanks to his combination of skill, toughness, and ring
Terence
savvy.
Crawford, a guru in the ring? Absolutely. He is one of the best fighters ever created in humanity. But you cannot say that I'm going to come in with 5 pounds taped across my arms and legs and then go against Canelo Alvarez. He's not going against some dude who doesn't have counter punches, who doesn't have a ring IQ. Canelo's been fighting since 15 and is one of the few fighters who has taken literally less punishment than, say, Caleb Plant, who has like 25 fights. If you look at the amount of punishment that Caleb Plant has taken in his fights, Canelo has probably taken less punishment than that. And he's coming in hungry. And he's going to come in with 87 billion Mexicans in the ring walk. Everybody flying flags. You don't know what Crawford's stage fight is going to be, coming in front of 70,000 people. Canelo's been there. He's going to put the shoes to Crawford.
That's it for today's video. Stay tuned until next time.